Hello and welcome to this review of Legends of Callasia by Boomzap Entertainment. If you like board games like Risk, or if you like the game Civilization, then you may enjoy Legends of Callasia. It is a strategy game. It heavily focuses on getting victory points and controlling objectives in order to get more of the map and get more victory points. Now, what parents may want to know about the game? To activate the full game and get all the heroes, campaigns, maps for online play, all of that, it does cost $14.99. Now, without paying, however, you can go online and create a hosted game which other people can join. I have played it before with a friend. It is pretty fun. And usually we use Mount Fury, so then you can also face 2 AI opponents. Now, since we're doing this on free-to-play, I only have these 3 maps. There are, of course, many others that they have created. These are all pre-made maps. They're not randomly generated. So if you like having an infinite number of randomly generated maps, then this may turn you off a bit to the game. Now, to show you what else parents may find a little bit not great, in their opinion, you have 4 factions, one of which is the undead. You know, they have skeletons, dark knights, etc., etc. Overall, the game really isn't very violent at all. So, I'll show you what I mean. We're going to just choose at random. Since we are on free-to-play, we only get the 4 heroes, and that's true of every faction, including the Stoneborn. Yes, they only have these 4 Stoneborn heroes. But it was an expansion, you know? It's nice that they even included it, really. And as you can see, there are different stats, various other things to keep track of, such as which cards you can get in play of the game. It's based on which heroes you choose. Anyway, we'll click play. We'll do a short game. You can choose how many turns a game lasts. You can have no turn limit if you buy the game, as far as I can tell. And for now, we can't choose that. We can also choose a quick start. We can make quick battle scenes. And we're going to have more neutral armies and 900 starting gold, just so I can show you off what is going on here. So the way this game plays is, once again, much like Risk. And since I have no one to play with, it's trying to see if anybody will join. I can message people that are on the board, like, hey, Jasper, why don't you join me? But, yeah. No. Nope. I'm not going to do that. Instead, we're going to exit. Since nobody here knows me and wants to play, we'll do a skirmish. We'll choose the Dale Lands. Once again, I'll choose the Revenant. And we're going to play for a little bit. We're not going to do a random start position. We'll be at 1, 2, or 3 that you can see in this top right map. And we can do quick battle scenes. And we'll start. So once again, this is very similar to Risk. You start with 1 hero. You can hire up to 4 heroes. Those heroes are very important. Now, you can win by either defeating everyone in the game, taking their capital, or, after the last turn of the game, you have the highest amount of victory points. Generally, highest amount of victory points is how you're going to win. Now, what I like to do as a strategy is start out with a strong hero that has high offensive capabilities, like Hell. So we're going to do that. She costs 250 to recruit. Since we start with a ton of money, it honestly makes a lot of sense to keep recruiting heroes. That way, we can move out and expand our territory. So now, I'm going to expand the 3 armies that I currently have so I can see my options. And I'm going to move, let's see, we've got, huge army to our right. That's neutral. You see that 28? That's the neutral army. These red lands, on the other hand, are not neutral. And same with the blue. Those are our foes. They're trying to compete with us for victory points and victory. Which, you know what? We're not super happy about, are we? Now, just to show off what I mean in terms of what could be violent in one's opinion, we're going to go ahead and all attack here. And if I wanted to, I could just combine them into one force. Look at that way. I could also decide, you know what, Tonga, you're not as useful in a battle. You could stay here and build stuff instead. and then he'd stay here and build stuff. And we're going to do that instead. So there we go. Tonga will stay and build. Our enemies will activate their phases, and it's kind of simultaneous gameplay, but there is a turn order that does dictate whether or not your army can run before theirs attacks, etc., etc. Now, as you can see, there's some red flashes, little skulls, so if you don't like that imagery, that may be a turn-off of the game for you. I personally don't think it's that terrible. There are sometimes like claw marks and things from dragons, but overall, as long as this kind of artwork, ooh, Tonga, creepy, doesn't scare you too much, then the undead are pretty much the scariest things. So, honestly, yeah, I'd say this game's probably appropriate for middle school age children and above. So we're going to quit and exit the game. And we can do that. So we didn't save the game. Aha, we did have a quick save, so we can load it. Which is another nice feature, because these board games usually last from around 30 minutes to an hour, depending on how many turns you need to take in order to win. Usually it's about 45 minutes for the next highest tier of turns. I believe it is 38 turns when you're playing with another player. Who knows what he's doing? And once again, we are going to exit this, go back to the main menu. And just so you know, for the free-to-play gamers out there, you do get to play the first missions in the campaigns of each race. But at any rate, they do let you try out the first few missions, see if you like it or not, which is really nice of them to do. And this is a little older. It's maybe a year or two old now. And overall, you know, if you're worried about value, I could personally vouch that you can play this online. You can even use Skype while playing. If you do get dropped by a bad connection, you know, that's bad. You can still rejoin. It seems like the game will play automatically in your absence, so keep that in mind. It may ruin your strategy. But overall, it's been very well supported and works pretty well for me. I haven't tried out the unlocked version yet. I do plan on doing that simply because I enjoy the game and I think it's a good multiplayer game for iPad and mobile devices. So I'll be back with that review of the paid content. Now you'll see what you get when you pay the $15 for the full game. In the bottom left, you now have the option to buy the Stoneborn expansion. That's $8, you get all the Dwarf heroes and new campaigns, plus 20 new multiplayer maps, as far as I can tell. Now, for the full game, I'm not planning to buy the expansion. Let me know in the comments below if you want me to review that. So far, not planning to do that. Now, in multiplayer, it works just as well as the free version, and you should be able to share maps that you can only access from the paid full content for people who are playing for free. So, as long as you're hosting, like say me, I can use the Turin Sea, and then I can have other people join me. Let's choose 100 Kingdoms. As you can see, I have more heroes here and more options. You may remember Olivia the Axewoman from the 100 Kingdoms campaign Let's Play. And yes, as you can see, you get a lot out of the $15. And the only real thing I have to say about multiplayer is make sure your internet connection is good. It will continue without you playing. It'll take your turn for you. And you should just be able to generate gold if you do lose connection until you can reconnect. Now, other than that, you may have seen the 100 Kingdoms campaign. And other than that, you do have the Feyborn, the Revenant, and the Stoneborn. You only get one Stoneborn unless you buy the expansion. But hey, it's still pretty cool. So, overall, I think the game is worth it if you enjoy board games like Risk. I like this personally better than Risk because there's a little less variance with dice rolls and stuff. You strategically set up your armies, and you know that increasing your population limit through conquering works, you know? So I enjoy that aspect of the game, and the campaign levels do add some interesting twists to your strategies because you have to meet certain goals first and foremost before you can pursue other objectives which make more sense. They're fun to do, and it will take you a few tries, most likely, to figure out the gimmick of each level. I think Legends of Callasia is worth it if you enjoy board games, strategy, and perhaps being able to play a Risk-like board game across the internet with a friend of yours. Leave a like below. Let me know what you think. If you have any comments or questions, leave those for me as well. I'll do my best to address those. And in the meantime, this is Legends of Callasia, dear viewer. Have a great day.